Welcome back to Energy Bites, where I talk about all things energy for a happier and healthier life. In today's video, I'm going to take a much deeper look into a topic that not all of you will be aware of or consciously think about in your everyday lives. We're going to explore the journey from 3D to 5D consciousness. You'll not only learn what it means to live in the 3D world, but also what it truly means to evolve beyond the three-dimensional physical experience into a state of heightened awareness and unity known as 5D consciousness. This journey is more than a shift in thinking. It's a profound transformation in the way we perceive ourselves, others, and the world. So stay tuned and keep watching until the end as we'll explore some foundational topics: the nature of energy, the limits of our five senses, and the characteristics of 3D, 4D, and 5D states of consciousness. We'll also talk about the challenges and obstacles many people encounter on this journey, including myself, as well as powerful tools and techniques to help ease the process. And finally, we'll discuss the role of life lessons and shadow work in this transition, acknowledging and healing our unresolved emotions to reach a place of inner peace. By the end of this video, you'll have a thorough understanding of the path from 3D to 5D consciousness and practical insights to guide you on your journey. As you can see, there's a lot to get through, so let's get started. Energy is a fundamental element of our universe, vibrating within all things, from atoms to stars. This constant movement and vibration form the foundation of all existence. Energy isn't just a physical force. It's an invisible power that connects all things, including our bodies, thoughts, and emotions. When I say everything is energy, I mean that every object, every thought, and every feeling has its own unique vibrational frequency. Understanding this helps us to see that reality isn't simply physical. Instead, it's dynamic, constantly vibrating and interacting. The more we explore this concept, the more we realize that our own thoughts, emotions, and even intentions are energetic forces capable of influencing our lives and the world around us. Energy doesn't just exist in the physical form. It also flows invisibly, beyond what our senses can detect. We see evidence of this in science with electromagnetic fields, gravity, or the waves that our hearts and brains emit. These unseen forms of energy can impact our emotions, our thoughts, and overall state of being. For example, when we feel refreshed after spending time in nature or drained after a stressful interaction, we're experiencing shifts in our energy field. This sensitivity to the invisible forces around us is something that grows as we raise our awareness. Moving from a 3D consciousness to higher states involves opening ourselves to these subtler, invisible energies and realizing that much of what influences us lies beyond our sensory perception. Our five senses give us a limited but useful way to experience the world. They help us to navigate the physical world by providing information through sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch. However, they only show us a fraction of what exists. Our eyes see a narrow range of light, for instance, while our ears detect only certain frequencies of sound. Beyond our senses, there's an entire spectrum of reality that we can't directly sense, but which profoundly affects our lives. As we move toward higher consciousness, we start to develop what some call inner senses or intuition. These allow us to sense energies beyond the physical and perceive truths that go beyond logical thought. Developing this inner awareness is key to progressing from 3D to 5D consciousness. So, what exactly is 3D consciousness? This is based on physical reality and individual experience. When in this state, we view the world mainly through a physical lens, believing only what we can touch, see, or measure. The 3D perspective tends to focus on personal achievement, material success, and external validation. Life is seen as linear and logical, with a strong emphasis on the self and individual identity. While it's a necessary stage for grounding us in the physical world, it can also limit our growth and perspective. In 3D consciousness, there's a strong sense of separation. This state of duality often creates a divide between self and others, leading to competition, comparison, and judgment. We experience reality as divided and often focus on differences rather than unity. Life feels like a series of contrasts, right versus wrong, good versus bad, us versus them. This dualistic mindset can lead to conflict, fear, and a sense of isolation, keeping us in cycles of defense and pursuit. In 3D consciousness, we experience time as linear, moving from past to future. This perception often creates anxiety about what lies ahead or regret about the past. We become attached to future goals and outcomes, rarely finding satisfaction in the present. As we shift to higher levels of awareness, our perception of time begins to evolve, allowing us to experience life more fully in the present. While 3D consciousness grounds us in the physical world, it can also trap us in cycles of fear, materialism, and judgment. This narrow perspective often makes life feel heavy and limited, as if we were constantly striving for something outside ourselves to feel fulfilled. Moving beyond 3D is about breaking free from these repetitive patterns and starting to seek meaning and peace from within, rather than from external achievements or possessions. In 4D consciousness, we begin to move out of a purely logical mindset and into a more heart-centered approach. This is the dimension where empathy, compassion, and emotional awareness start to become central. In 4D, we understand the importance of our emotional energy and how our feelings affect our reality. The 4D shift involves opening our hearts, recognizing the value of connection, and letting go of judgment. 4D consciousness encourages us to heal and release old emotional patterns and wounds. This is where we start to become aware of the mind-heart connection, realizing that our emotions play a major role in our physical health and spiritual growth. In 4D, time begins to feel less linear. Instead of worrying about the past or the future, we start to appreciate the present moment. Practices like meditation and mindfulness help us to cultivate a sense of timelessness, allowing us to experience each moment fully. We begin to see that the present is the only true moment, and that by anchoring ourselves here, we can experience peace, clarity, and joy. 4D consciousness also involves releasing outdated beliefs and conditioned patterns that limit us. As we awaken to a more expansive view, we start questioning societal conditioning, family beliefs, and personal fears that have kept us confined to a 3D perspective. This process, often called deprogramming, helps us break free from fear-based thinking and opens us to a more liberated state of awareness. 5D consciousness is a state of deep peace, love, and unity. In this state, we see beyond physical limitations and recognize our interconnectedness with all beings. It's a reality of oneness where we experience life from a place of compassion, understanding, and inner stillness. 5D consciousness is based on unity. We no longer feel the need for separation or competition because we understand that we are all interconnected and part of the same universal energy. In this state, we feel a profound sense of harmony with the world, understanding that we are all part of a greater whole. This realization eliminates judgment and brings about a natural desire to live in service to others. Love and compassion are the driving forces of our actions. We make choices that align with our highest values and seek to create harmony in all of our relationships. Living from the heart means that we naturally want to uplift and support others, knowing that their happiness is connected to ours. And in terms of time and space, time becomes fluid. We begin to experience moments as interconnected rather than linear. We realize that the present contains all possibilities, allowing us to be fully present without worrying about what has been or what is to come. In fact, the ego's grip on fear, control, and separation dissolves. Instead, we start to live from our higher self, the part of us that is aligned with love, intuition, and wisdom. This higher self understands our true purpose and guides us towards actions that bring harmony and fulfillment. As we begin to elevate our consciousness, moving from a 3D to a 5D awareness, we often encounter various challenges and obstacles along the way. These difficulties aren't necessarily setbacks. Instead, they're integral to our growth and learning process, forcing us to examine, release, and transform parts of ourselves that no longer align with our new evolving state of being. Here are some of the common obstacles that people face when on this path, and how they can be understood as opportunities for growth rather than barriers. One of the first and most common challenges in this journey is the fear of letting go of old beliefs, habits, and attachments. This fear arises from our attachment to what's familiar and our ego's natural tendency to resist change. Even when we intellectually understand that letting go of certain thoughts or patterns will lead to positive growth, actually doing so can be very uncomfortable and unsettling. Letting go can feel like losing parts of ourselves because for many years we have identified with our habits, beliefs, or even our pain and struggles. Letting go can mean surrendering control, and for many, this is one of the hardest steps. We may fear losing our sense of self, our relationships, or even our security. However, it's important to remember that letting go doesn't mean giving up everything we know. Instead, it means releasing what no longer serves us to make room for higher vibrational energies and experiences. The act of letting go often opens the door to greater freedom and clarity, allowing us to align with our true essence rather than the identity we've constructed in a 3D mindset. To work through the fear of letting go, it helps to adopt a mindset of curiosity and openness. Rather than resisting the change, we can view it as an adventure into unknown but exciting new possibilities. Practicing meditation, journaling about what we fear losing, and exploring our attachments with compassion can help us to gradually release these ties without feeling forced or rushed. The ego is a powerful part of our psyche that acts as a protector, helping us to survive in the physical 3D world. However, as we begin to transition into higher consciousness, the ego often resists. It's used to operating from a place of fear, separation, and control, and anything that challenges its influence can feel threatening. Moving into 5D consciousness, where unity and oneness prevail, can feel like a loss of identity to the ego, which resists by triggering doubt, fear, and attachment to old patterns. Ego resistance can manifest in various ways, including self-sabotage, judgment of others, or an unwillingness to accept new perspectives. For example, we might encounter thoughts like, "I'll lose my ambition if I become too peaceful," or "If I let go of my protective walls, I'll be vulnerable to others." These are expressions of the ego trying to maintain its dominance, creating an inner tug-of-war between our evolving self and the old mindset. The key to working with ego resistance is to acknowledge it without judgment. Rather than seeing the ego as an enemy, we can view it as a part of us that's simply trying to protect us in the only way it knows. Practices like mindfulness, self-observation, and compassion allow us to witness the ego's resistance and gently redirect our focus back to our higher self. By learning to accept and integrate the ego's influence without letting it control us, we can gradually create a harmonious relationship with these parts of ourselves. The dark night of the soul is a term used to describe a period of intense inner turmoil and emotional struggle that often occurs as we embark on our spiritual awakening. During this phase, we are forced to confront our deepest fears, insecurities, and unresolved emotions. It's as though everything we've buried or ignored suddenly comes to the surface, demanding our attention and healing. This experience can feel isolating and overwhelming, and it's common to feel lost or disconnected during this time. The dark night of the soul is not a punishment. Rather, it's a cleansing process that allows us to release lower vibrational energies, such as fear, guilt, and shame. By confronting these parts of ourselves, we clear the way for higher consciousness to take root. While it's an uncomfortable and often painful experience, it's also a profound opportunity for transformation and rebirth. Many people emerge from the dark night with a renewed sense of purpose, deeper compassion, and a stronger connection to their true selves. Navigating the dark night of the soul requires patience, self-compassion, and support. Rather than trying to avoid or fix these emotions, it helps to embrace them as part of the healing process. Journaling, meditating, and seeking out supportive communities can provide comfort and guidance during this challenging time. Remember, this phase is temporary, and often leads to significant spiritual breakthroughs once we've processed the lessons it offers. As we shift into higher consciousness, we may find that our beliefs, values, and priorities begin to differ from those of the people around us, and this includes our friends, our family, and society at large. This divergence can lead to feelings of isolation or conflict, as others may not understand, accept, or support our new perspective. We may face judgment, skepticism, or even criticism from those who are still rooted in the 3D mindset, leading to doubt and confusion about our journey. Society often reinforces the idea that success, validation, and worth are defined by material achievements and external approval. As we begin to transcend these values and align ourselves with inner peace, love, and unity, it can be challenging to reconcile our new path with societal expectations. We might worry about losing relationships or fear rejection, which can create resistance to fully embracing 5D consciousness. The best way to overcome external judgments is to cultivate a strong sense of inner validation and self-assurance. Trusting in our path and aligning with our inner truth can help us to weather the opinions and expectations of others. Seeking out like-minded communities or spiritual groups can provide support and connection, helping us to feel less alone in our journey. Additionally, reminding ourselves that each person's journey is unique allows us to honor others' perspectives without feeling the need to conform or defend our choices. As we transition from 3D to higher consciousness, we often find that old roles, identities, and ways of being no longer feel authentic or meaningful. For example, we may have previously identified strongly with our career, social status, or family roles, finding validation and identity in these external labels. However, as our awareness expands, we start to realize that these identities are only surface-level aspects of who we are. This realization can be liberating, but it can also bring up fear and resistance as we question who we are without these labels. Letting go of old identities can be disorienting because they've often formed the foundation of how we view ourselves and how others view us. We may feel a loss of direction or purpose as we release these roles, and this can create a sense of emptiness or confusion. The attachment to these identities is a natural part of the human experience, but holding on to them too tightly can prevent us from embracing our true limitless essence. To move beyond attachment to old identities, it helps to remember that our true essence is not defined by any external label or role. We can begin to explore our deeper self through introspective practices such as meditation and self-inquiry, asking questions like, who am I beyond these roles? Practicing self-compassion and accepting the uncertainty of this transitional phase can help us to let go without fear. Releasing these attachments gradually allows us to step into a new, more expansive understanding of who we truly are. The journey from 3D to 5D consciousness isn't a linear path, and it's common to feel as though we're moving forward one moment and slipping back the next. We may experience moments of clarity, peace, and unity, only to feel pulled back into old habits, fears, or patterns. This inconsistency can be frustrating and discouraging, leading us to question whether we're truly progressing or capable of making the shift. The oscillation between different states of consciousness is a natural part of the journey, but it can feel challenging when we're working toward higher awareness. Staying consistent on this path requires patience, dedication, and resilience. There may be external triggers or life events that pull us back into the 3D mindset, but each experience provides an opportunity for growth. Understanding that progress is non-linear allows us to embrace the process without judgment or frustration. Instead, we view each moment of regression as a stepping stone, helping us to integrate the lessons we've learned. Maintaining consistency on the path to higher consciousness involves cultivating daily practices that keep us grounded and focused, such as meditation and gratitude. Surrounding ourselves with supportive influences, whether it's people, books, or spiritual practices, can help reinforce our commitment to this journey. More importantly, we can remind ourselves that progress is measured by our overall growth and awareness, not by each individual moment, allowing us to move forward with compassion and patience. Transitioning from 3D to 5D consciousness is a deeply transformative process. By recognizing and working through these obstacles, we not only clear the path for higher awareness, but we also build resilience, self-acceptance, and inner peace. Meditation and mindfulness are foundational practices that facilitate the shift into higher consciousness. By regularly engaging in meditation, we learn to quiet the mind, letting go of scattered thoughts and external distractions to access our inner state of peace and clarity. Meditation allows us to connect deeply with our true selves beyond the ego, which is vital in 5D consciousness, where presence and inner awareness are paramount. Mindfulness is equally powerful. It involves staying fully aware of each moment and observing our thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. Practicing mindfulness helps us to become more conscious of our emotional and mental patterns, enabling us to respond from a place of compassion and awareness rather than reacting unconsciously. Over time, meditation and mindfulness train our minds to operate in a calmer and more centered state, reducing anxiety, stress, and fear. Start with just 5 to 10 minutes of meditation daily and gradually increase the duration. You can try guided meditations that focus on connecting to higher consciousness or cultivating compassion and loving kindness. I personally have a favorite, which is the very same meditation that has literally transformed my life. If you'd like to try the meditation on Twin Hearts, it not only helps you to develop your heart and crown centers, but it also has a very powerful cleansing effect on your energy bodies, which helps you to cultivate more vibrant and harmonious physical, emotional, and mental states of being. You can also practice mindful breathing throughout the day, especially in stressful situations, to return to the present moment and realign with inner peace. Again, I've created a video on doing some simple breathing exercises. You can find more information on the meditation as well as the breathing practices in the description below. Self-love and compassion are essential as we move to 5D consciousness, where unity and acceptance prevail. Loving ourselves means accepting both our strengths and weaknesses, embracing all parts of our journey without judgment. Often, our 3D consciousness is filled with self-criticism and negative self-talk, but in higher consciousness, we recognize that we are worthy and complete, just as we are. Self-compassion in particular allows us to forgive ourselves for past mistakes and view them as valuable lessons rather than sources of shame. This kind of compassion softens the inner critic, creating a nurturing internal environment where growth can occur. When we practice self-love, we also cultivate love for others more naturally, promoting a sense of interconnectedness. Practice daily affirmations that encourage self-acceptance, such as, "I am worthy of love," or "I accept myself fully." It's also beneficial to surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. But remember, this doesn't mean that they don't have different views to yours or challenge your ways of thinking. Healthy debate can help you to grow and expand your perspectives, allowing you to have better empathy and compassion for others, including yourself. It's especially important that you make time for activities that bring you joy and fulfillment, reinforcing that you deserve happiness and peace. Judgment is one of the biggest barriers to achieving a state of 5D consciousness. In 3D, we're conditioned to judge ourselves and others, often reinforcing a mindset of separation and unhealthy comparisons. Shifting to a higher consciousness requires us to let go of these judgments, allowing us to see others from a place of empathy and understanding, rather than comparison or criticism. Releasing judgment opens us up to love and acceptance, helping us to view others' actions as reflections of their personal journey rather than something that directly affects us. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather responding with compassion. By letting go of judgment, we free ourselves from the heavy energy of criticism and shift towards unity. Practice noticing when judgmental thoughts arise and gently replace them with understanding and empathy. You can also reflect on a situation where you are quick to judge someone and consider the factors that may have influenced their behavior. Remind yourself that everyone is on their unique journey and that extending compassion to others creates a more positive energy field for everyone involved. Nature is one of the most powerful healers, helping us ground and connect to a sense of unity with all life. Spending time in nature aligns us with the Earth's natural rhythms, grounding our energy and clearing mental clutter. Nature reminds us of the interconnectedness of all things and fosters feelings of peace and gratitude, which are core to the 5D state. Gratitude in particular is a simple yet transformative practice that shifts our focus from lack to abundance. By regularly expressing gratitude, we raise our vibration and attract positive energy, reinforcing a sense of unity and appreciation for life. Gratitude also helps us to stay present and recognize the blessings we have, grounding us in a peaceful, contented mindset. Spend time outdoors daily, even if it's just a short walk, and observe the beauty around you. You can also start a gratitude journal, writing down 3 things each day that you're thankful for. Take moments throughout the day to mentally express gratitude for even the small things, like having a warm meal, a kind gesture, or even a comfortable space. Our life experiences, including our challenges and struggles, play a significant role in our journey to higher consciousness. Shadow work and understanding the lessons embedded in our experiences are integral parts of transitioning to 5D. By facing our shadows and integrating the lessons life presents, we gain deeper self-awareness, healing, and spiritual growth. Life continuously presents us with experiences meant to teach and guide us. These experiences may come in the form of difficult relationships, personal challenges, or unexpected events, each of which offers a unique opportunity to expand our understanding of ourselves and others. In the journey to 5D, recognizing these life lessons allows us to see beyond our immediate reactions and understand the purpose behind our experiences. For instance, a challenging relationship may be teaching us about forgiveness, or a period of loss might reveal the importance of self-love and resilience. When we approach our experiences as opportunities for growth, we become more receptive to the lessons they offer. Reflect on a recent challenge and identify any lessons it may have brought into your life. It's also important to practice gratitude for life lessons, acknowledging that each one contributes to your growth and evolution. And finally, use journaling and self-reflection to explore how different experiences have shaped who you are, helping you to see your life's journey from a perspective of growth rather than struggle. Shadow work is the process of facing and integrating the parts of ourselves that we may have ignored, suppressed, or denied. These shadows often represent unresolved emotions, fears, and limiting beliefs that affect our behaviors and perceptions. Embracing our shadows is essential for healing and transformation, as these hidden aspects often hold us back from moving fully into 5D consciousness. In 3D, it's common to avoid or deny our shadows, but in higher consciousness, we understand that these aspects are just as valid as our positive traits. By confronting and healing our shadows, we release old patterns and make room for higher vibrations to flow into our lives. This process requires courage and honesty, but ultimately leads to a more complete and integrated self. One very effective way to help identify your shadows is to practice shadow journaling. You can do this by writing about any emotions, beliefs, or fears you tend to avoid. And as always, engage in self-reflection after challenging interactions or situations, asking what shadow aspect might have been triggered. You can work with a credible therapist or join a supportive group if shadow work feels overwhelming, as having guidance can be helpful for deeper healing. In the journey to higher consciousness, challenges serve as catalysts that propel us forward. Rather than viewing difficulties as setbacks, we can see them as essential steps that deepen our understanding and resilience. Each time we face a challenge, we have the opportunity to strengthen qualities such as patience, compassion, and inner strength. By reframing our challenges in this way, we cultivate a mindset that embraces growth. Instead of fearing hardship, we can see it as a tool for transformation, allowing us to transcend limitations and step closer to our true selves. Recognizing challenges as part of our path encourages a more empowered and proactive approach to life. Reflect on past challenges and note the positive traits or lessons they instilled in you, such as resilience or empathy. When faced with a new challenge, try asking, what can I learn from this? Rather than, why is this happening to me? And repetition is key. Practice affirmations like, I grow stronger with each challenge, or my experiences shape me in powerful ways, to reinforce an empowered perspective. And I'm not trying to encourage even more social media use or unnecessary scrolling, but you can also follow positive and inspirational pages or handles. You'll be surprised that when you're constantly reminded of these positive quotes and sayings, that they can actually help to embed more positivity into your programming. At this moment in history, humanity as a collective is in a period of profound transformation. As we evolve and expand our consciousness, many people are awakening to new perspectives, deeper connections, and a stronger desire for unity, compassion, and purpose. However, this transitioning is happening at different rates across the population, and our collective consciousness is still largely influenced by 3D and 4D states. The majority of humanity is currently rooted in 3D consciousness. In this state, people are often focused on material existence, driven by physical survival, competition, and a sense of separation. This consciousness is largely characterized by a focus on external validation, accumulation of possessions, and a perception of reality based on personal identity and ego. In 3D, emotions like fear, anxiety, and anger are prevalent, as many people live with a scarcity mindset, believing that resources, love, and success are limited and must be pursued competitively. This consciousness level is not necessarily negative, but rather serves as an important stage of human development. It allows us to learn vital lessons about individuality, personal responsibility, and resilience. However, as people begin to feel unfulfilled by purely material achievements and notice the limitations of an ego-driven perspective, they start seeking more depth and purpose. This is often the beginning of the transition toward 4D and eventually 5D awareness. Many individuals have begun shifting into a 4D consciousness, a transitional state that bridges the gap between 3D and 5D. In 4D, people start to awaken to the interconnectedness of life, become more aware of their thoughts, emotions, and their power to create reality. Here, empathy, intuition, and compassion become more prevalent as individuals recognize that their actions and energy influence the world around them. This is often where the concepts of spirituality, self-discovery, and personal growth come into play, as people seek answers beyond the purely material world. 4D consciousness introduces the idea of unity and interconnectedness, encouraging people to question old beliefs, break free from limiting patterns, and explore higher values like forgiveness, kindness, and acceptance. However, 4D consciousness also has its challenges. It can bring up intense emotions and fears as individuals confront their shadows, old traumas, and the ego's resistance. Those in 4D are often working to balance inner exploration with external responsibilities, finding ways to heal and grow while still navigating a world predominantly influenced by 3D structures. A smaller but steadily growing portion of the population is now entering 5D consciousness. This level represents a profound leap in awareness where unity, unconditional love, and non-judgment become guiding principles. People in 5D consciousness view life from a place of profound inner peace, seeing all beings as interconnected and recognizing that separation is just an illusion. In this state, there's an intuitive understanding that we are all aspects of the same divine essence, with compassion and empathy as the foundation of all interactions. In 5D, the ego no longer drives behavior, and there is little attachment to material success, social validation, or rigid identities. Instead, people are motivated by a true desire to serve, uplift, and contribute to the collective good. Creativity, intuition, and spiritual insight become primary modes of engagement, and challenges are seen as opportunities for growth and alignment. The 5D perspective brings with it a deep trust in the flow of life and an ability to remain centered regardless of external circumstances. Although it's difficult to quantify, it's generally understood that only a small portion of humanity is currently operating primarily from a 5D consciousness. Many people experience glimpses of 5D awareness during moments of meditation, insight, or spiritual connection. But sustaining this state requires dedication to practices that reinforce unity and compassion. Meanwhile, a significant portion of people may be actively transitioning through 4D, working to overcome the limitations of ego, judgment, and fear. This group is exploring spiritual growth, healing, and self-awareness, making it more likely for them to experience 5D consciousness with time and practice. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you are also currently undergoing this transition as well. However, the majority of humanity remains rooted in 3D, focusing on material concerns, identity-driven goals, and navigating life from a mindset shaped by separation and duality. However, many in this group are also experiencing subtle shifts and questioning old paradigms, signaling that they too may soon be entering higher states of consciousness. The journey from 3D to 5D consciousness is both a personal and collective process. As more individuals awaken to 4D and 5D states, they create an energetic shift that positively influences those around them. This collective evolution is often referred to as the ascension process, a gradual transformation of humanity's consciousness. Those who live in 5D serve as beacons of peace, compassion, and unity, helping to raise the overall vibrational frequency of the planet. As each individual takes steps to elevate their consciousness, they contribute to a greater shift that ultimately paves the way for more people to awaken. While humanity may have a long way to go, this collective journey is gaining momentum, and the dedication of individuals around the world is creating ripples that will inspire future generations to live from a place of love, unity, and higher purpose. The transition may be challenging, but each step brings us closer to a reality rooted in harmony, where humanity can thrive in alignment with our highest potential. The importance of making the shift to 5D consciousness cannot be overstated. This shift is not just a personal journey, but a collective evolution that holds the key to solving many of the world's most pressing issues: environmental destruction, social inequality, and internal conflict. By embracing the principles of unity, love, and higher consciousness, we pave the way for a world based on compassion, harmony, and sustainability. Each step we take on this path not only enhances our own experience, but contributes to a more harmonious, unified world. The journey to 5D consciousness is a path of personal transformation, collective healing, and boundless love, one that is open to each and every single one of us. And as more individuals awaken and contribute to the collective shift, we begin to heal not only ourselves, but also the world around us. The future of humanity depends on this transformation, and by making the shift to 5D consciousness, we unlock the potential to create a new world, one that reflects our highest aspirations and deepest truths. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know this was a pretty heavy one, so you may want to go through some of the video again. But if you found this information useful or know of others that may be interested, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more of my content. I release one video a week on topics that I have a deep passion for, and I love to share these with you in case you can benefit from these profound and eye-opening topics as much as I have. Until next time, take care and always stay inspired.